I felt a little guilty about this presentation because, being heavily involved in the steering group, I thought there's a danger I'd be seen as trying to bias or direct the process. But Richard did assure me that everybody's view is good. So this is personal view, nothing to do with the steering group.
We'll be the judge of it at the end. Okay. But no, everyone's view counts.
He says I've only got 2 hours and 15 minutes to speak, so I'm sorry to have to concentrate on that. My thinking here is we have a community which has got a lot going for it. It's a brilliant place to live, and I would like to see that develop. And if we're going to do that, we need to build on our strengths and compensate for the weaknesses. I don't see it being an industrial centre of the human race. I don't see it being another new town. I do see it as being something we can build on the strengths we've got. Briefly, I'm going to say we've got lots of things in our favour. We've got the highway landscape, we've got the ready access to suburbia, etc., etc. Interesting history. Some might say quirky. I'm trying to get this word quirky in whenever I can. Anyone who goes to the Bell thinks quirky must be an important word. And I think we've got some really big tourism magnets. And I think this ecotourism is a way we can get employment locally and attract people locally to keep us vibrant and not have to be a purely commuter town, village. What we could have is make use of some of those strengths with affordable self-builds. We could build a reputation for being environmentally friendly, environmentally sound, self-sufficient basically. We could build on this ecotourism idea, and you'll see a few thoughts why and how, and as a result generate even more local employment. I'm just going to flick through these slides very quickly because you know all of this stuff. We've got lovely landscape from a whole series of things. We've got the AONB based in Flinwell of all places. It's hard to believe that an area of that size is centred around something that's only in the centre of our parish. The access might not be brilliant, but it's pretty good, and it's getting better. A21 for traffic, Dungate Station for the railways. And we are quirky. And maybe we need our own long man, or maybe, as I said on the slide, which you can't quite see, long woman. Anybody want to volunteer a bit of a chalk down to create our own?
Someone's going to lie there, are they, and be drawn?
It'll be a snow fairy, a snow angel. We've got good places to stay and good places to eat, and we all know about those. And we've got loads of things to do. These are all plagiarised off websites, so I'm not going to dwell on them in case I get sued for misuse. What can we do? Well, we can promote self-build. We can actually make use of some of the features. Some of these are down at Flinwell at the Woodnet Centre there. They're using local materials to do things that are slightly different from what we've done in the past. You see elsewhere I've tried to be a little bit out left field on some of the in-keeping ideas as well. But suppose we had every one of those farms, every one of those farms there's about 24 of them, if we gave them each 4 houses and said, okay, we want to support local farming, we know it's not a profitable operation to a large degree, we can be seen as developing the kind of things that used to happen locally, with little hamlets building up in little dotted areas. And we can make those...
Can I say something about that? If less than 6 houses are built anywhere, they don't count towards our allocation for building houses within Tyso's parish as a whole. They are what are called Winsville, Wunfall, and they count to Rother, but they don't count to Tyso's. So you could build 100 houses like that, no effect on our building. You still have to build these.
It's a very good point, but if your neighbourhood plan grouped them under a policy, it would count. You could work around.
You think you might get Rother to agree?
Well, this is the process, and Rother will be with us.
All right.
But no, it's a really good point about numbers. But yeah, these are good ideas that we need to start.
As you said earlier, there's no point being less than bold, and I think this is bold.
Well, if we could, I think that would be excellent. I
It's
like the idea.
It's an approach.
I just think there's a problem with it, and
No,
we've
it's
got
good
to
that
recognise
you've flagged it up, so we need to keep working on it.
No, we recognise the realities are different, and I'm not trying to deal with how we deal with the realities is a bigger challenge. We could make sure all of our houses, all of our new developments are not just carbon neutral, but energy neutral. Have them generating their own power. So we don't need to be a drain on the next nuclear power station at Hinkley Point, or the next in sea wind farms, or hydroelectric from Scotland, or more gas from Russia. We can make sure each of them got brown water storage, so we're not suffering from droughts every year and using treated mains water to water gardens and lawns and wash cars. We could even build combined heat and power plant. Now you think that's bold? You think the other one was bold? This is bold. Combined heat and power in Ticehurst. Using the waste that we produce that goes all the way to Brighton, to all the way back to New Haven every week. Sorry, every other week. Why not use it here? We've got plenty of wood chip. The number of fires you see in summer, people burning garden waste is immense. We go into producing energy. Combined heat and power, far more efficient than conventional methods. We could start paving the cycleways, the footpaths, so that instead of muddy paths, we've actually got the opportunity to move from magnets like Bewell and Bedgebury into the villages to use the facilities to build this ecotourism idea. We could build more woodland. Banky Field set aside already, the north end of it, build more of it. And welcome waters with these paved paths, or have better wet weather handling in the places where people do eat and stay. High-wheeled tourist information centre built around the Will Woodnet Centre. Perhaps the new village hall in Flamwell could be also not only a shop, but also a tourist information centre. And get core business off the A21. We could be a rural village equivalent of Poundbury. We could have a reputation for people visiting us just because of what we've got as a community. The small-scale hamlets is a tradition of the area. We're building on that. We don't become a drain on energy resources because we require energy efficiency. And we become a pioneering, environmentally friendly community. Thanks very much.
Very good.